All right, you guys, welcome back to another episode of Running with Wolves. I am so excited because today we have two incredible guests, Jamie and Cynthia, who are the co-founders of Winx Health. They've been listed as a Forbes 30 under 30. Jamie has and Cynthia has been recognized as Inc.'s top 100 female founders list, and they are incredible sexual and vaginal health advocates. They're just doing incredible things in their space. So I'm super excited to talk to you guys today about your brand, marketing, all the good stuff. So welcome, you guys.
Thank you so
Thanks
much
for having us. We're excited to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So before we kind of dive into the marketing side of things, tell my guests a little bit more about yourselves, why you decided to kind of create Winx Health. Give me the gist of it.
Yeah, I can kick things off and Cynthia jump in whenever. So I'm Jamie. I'm one of the co-founders of Winx Health, and Cynthia and I started the business 5 years ago in 2019, which is hard to believe. And our first product was a pregnancy test. And we decided that we wanted to create a better experience, an easier product to use, a brand that wasn't just speaking to women who wanted to have babies. At the time, we were not in that demo. Cynthia actually ran into her ex-boyfriend's mom buying a pregnancy test, which was
Stop.
a bad story.
I'm dead.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it was bad. There's like nothing else to say about it, but like I don't know if I can curse, but that's how I would normally
You
respond.
can. I love a good
Okay.
fuck. Like
Fuck.
just say it. Yeah, no, literally. Like there are no other words. Just
No.
fuck, honestly.
Yeah. Oh.
And I have suffered from chronic UTIs for a number of years, even though I haven't had one in a while. It's good news. But we decided to start this business to basically make shopping the women's health aisle a little bit easier. And with time, we realized that the problem extended really far beyond pregnancy tests. We launched into UTIs and yeast infections, a morning after pill, and most recently, some test and treat products that are integrated with telehealth. So it's been quite the journey. And we've also been doing a ton of like political advocacy work as it relates to women's health and reproductive justice. So it's a very important time for reproductive and vaginal health.
Yeah, to say the least. To say the least, honestly. That's
Yeah, it's
that's
really
so
chill to
amazing.
like run a women's health company through a global pandemic, a women's health crisis, a pivotal election, super chill.
Yeah. You know what? If you guys, I am a firm believer, if you can handle this, you can literally handle anything. Like you guys, this is going to be smooth sailing from here on out. So I love everything that you guys are doing. And I think obviously, even though we're in different industries, a lot of like our goals and our mission very much align is just to advocate for, women's opportunities and freedoms and stuff like that. So that's super, super cool. I am curious just because obviously, I think sexual health can be, and I'm hoping that it's less of a tricky topic to start talking about like in the future. And it sounds like you guys are doing a really great job of kind of breaking that barrier. But I feel like in this day and age, it's still for some reason a weird or a tricky topic to talk about. So talk to me about how you guys kind of started to like branch out into that niche and kind of make those conversations like more run of the mill, I guess.
Yeah, I can again kick off. Um, Sorry, I was hearing a weird echo and I was trying to figure out if it was coming from me. Um,
You're good.
okay. So we started answering what were at the time like customer service questions in
Mm-hmm.
the early stages of the business, but they extended far beyond like where is my order and how do I use a product. Um, People were asking like about their bodies and like
Wow.
questions about getting pregnant, not getting pregnant, birth control, and we were just kind of realizing that there was this big opportunity in white space to provide medically accurate information in a way that was like easy to digest and consume.
Mm-hmm.
Like WebMD can be really scary.
Yeah.
And we basically carved out the space on the internet we call Real Talk, where we have almost 1,000 pieces of content, all written articles that are medically reviewed, verified, and written in a way that are like easy to read and fun to read. And
I
it's
love
helped
that.
us like really kind of destigmatize a lot of these topics, connect with our community. It's really been like how we've grown our digital presence without a marketing budget because it's all pretty much organic. So that is just one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, Cynthia, I don't know if you have anything to add on that.
No, she's brilliant talking about this. You don't want to hear from me.
I do. I want to hear from both of you guys. Okay, amazing. I love that. And I think that it sounds like you kind of like recognized maybe this need that your audience had for number one, more information, but like you said, like the destigmatizing kind of this topic. So I love that you guys were, I guess, bold enough in a way to just kind of start addressing that and talking about it. And like I said, making it a more normalized conversation. I am curious if there was any like obstacles that you guys faced along the way with like getting that message out there. Has there been any backlash, any pushback around that? Tell me more about that.
Yeah, I could not be nodding more emphatically right now. I
Good.
forgot that we're on audio only, but like imagine me, big yes, big yes.
Oh no, we're on video too. Don't worry.
Oh, perfect. Okay, great.
They'll see
Well,
it.
then you're gonna see me just like twitch, move, dance,
I love
I
it.
guess.
I love it.
Who knows? End of the day on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Have we faced obstacles 1,000 times? Yes. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's been a really interesting challenge to figure out how to talk loudly and boldly about this thing that nobody really wants to be listening to loudly or boldly. And that has meant a lot of different things over the course of the past 5 years. But I think there's two really interesting moments that have happened. One was the Dobbs decision, which was, as we all know, the decision that overturned Roe v. Wade. And it's the first time that we started talking about abortion publicly as a brand.
Mm-hmm.
Until that point, we really hadn't touched the subject. But as we watched the Dobbs case move through the court system, we realized we could no longer sit silently about it. And so we actually did a ton of putting our money where our mouth was. We donated 30,000 doses of EC. We raised over $300,000 to do it. EC,
Wow.
emergency contraception, the morning after pill. I realize
Yeah.
sometimes we talk in lingo. And that was amazing and really elevated the brand to the next level and got us, people were just talking about what we were doing because it gave people a thing to do during this time that felt really hopeless.
Mm-hmm.
But we definitely got hate for that too. My least favorite story is one time during that like week after the Dobbs decision came out, I got an email from an investor of ours saying, I don't believe politics is a place in the boardroom and I want my money out. So that was definitely a low. And we definitely angered people in our community. We definitely to this day still anger people on the internet. But I think a really important thing about getting hate is that it's loud and it cuts, but actually the support is so wide and so deep. And so for every one negative comment to this day we get in a TikTok, we get 5 people jumping in to defend what we're doing and why we're doing it. So like, yes, there was a million obstacles and yes, it's really freaking hard and was really freaking hard in that moment and continues to be, but we're constantly reminded of why we push through that difficulty.
I love that. And I think, a lot of people have asked me like during times like that, right? How do you respond in your marketing and in your messaging? And one of the biggest things that I've always said is you can't just make a statement. You have to put your money where your mouth is. And so I love that you guys did that in such a meaningful way. Especially even with Hurricane Helen, for example. I know it's not even remotely close, but like a natural disaster like that, people have said like, how do we, market and things like that in the state of this going on? And it's like, put your money where your mouth is, right? Make a statement, make sure people are really clear on what's going on. So I love that you guys did that because that's something that I preach pretty consistently. And something else that you guys I love it. Something that you mentioned, Cynthia, was obviously for one hateful comment, you get 5 super supportive ones. Do you guys incorporate like kind of addressing that hate into your marketing strategy, or how do you guys handle that? Do you kind of just let it be what it's going to be, or what part of your strategy does that make up?
We pretty much just let our community respond to hateful comments for us. There have been a few situations where we've jumped in, like if someone is like putting out wrong information or like harmful information, we'll jump in with facts, but like 9 times out of 10 we let our community jump in. And then we have like kind of responded to angry comments via like a TikTok video, kind of like baking it into the strategy, but kind of in a roundabout way, not actually addressing it.
Yeah, I love that. I'm the exact same way, honestly. it's really nice when you have such like a committed following of people who believe in what you're doing that they will literally, like, you almost don't even need to say anything. They'll just jump to protect your brand and what you're doing. And I think obviously what you guys are doing is so important that it's amazing that you do have a community like that.
Yeah, and I think that was the start of what has now become a pretty long history in getting involved in the things that matter to us. So we're
Hmm.
doing a lot of work around the election this year. We brought on Deja Fox as a Gen Z advisor for the brand to work with us and
Hmm.
like making sure that we're really maximizing our impact. We've done, Jamie, I'm sure can give much better information, but some really cool stuff around the DNC. We have some really fun sweatshirts launching, doing some phone banking stuff. I think it's not just about putting your money where your mouth is. It's about putting your brand where
Hmm.
your values are, I
Yeah.
think is what's really paid off for us. You know, I think it's really easy to be scared about being political or taking a stand on something that has been made political, even though they are just our bodies. It's not a
Hmm.
political element.
Yeah.
But I think in doing so, we find more meaning in the brand that we're building, and the brand is connecting with so many more people.
And like consumers, especially today, can really see through things that feel inauthentic and things that are really manufactured and reviewed and, edited. And we're big believers that like the more authentic we are to our own beliefs, our brand's beliefs, like the better we'll do.
Hmm.
So we are outspoken on, we're a women's health brand. So reproductive justice and abortion rights are critical to women's health. And we're going to put that in all of the places that the brand shows up. And our community really resonates with that. So I think it's really easy to be scared of what like an investor might do or a buyer might think, or like, a customer with a different belief system than you might think. But as long as you are speaking honestly and in a non-judgmental way,
Hmm.
for us, it has really brought a lot of value to the business.
Yeah, I always say when it comes to content or your mission or your messaging or anything that you say as a brand, it's going to attract the people that you want in your community, and it's going to really deflect or turn off the people that you don't. And so I actually would rather a brand lean into their values and their beliefs and what makes them authentically them as a brand, because otherwise it's like, do you really want people who aren't aligned in your values, number one, in your community, or number two, even really like purchasing from you if you're looking to create a values led business, right? So I love that.
Yeah.
I know that you guys, I obviously mentioned like sexual health can feel like sometimes a taboo topic to talk about on social media. I'm curious to know for you guys, what would you say has kind of been like a key aspect of, and maybe this is something that you already answered, but is there anything else you feel like has really attributed to you guys being really profitable in kind of like a niche market like sexual health?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like just bouncing off of what we were talking about. We really took the pedal off the gas. Is that the phrase? Pedal off the gas with paid
I
marketing.
like that that's the inverse of the phrase that everyone uses. That's fun.
Gas off the pedal.
I
Yeah,
love it.
we did the opposite of that. And we decided not to spend on paid marketing
Hmm.
for a number of reasons. One, it was becoming a lot harder to like make your dollars go further. And two, we found that when we have organic content that does well, people are so much more likely to engage with the brand and follow us and be loyal to the brand. We also are in the sexual health space, and our ads were always getting restricted and banned,
Flagged.
and our products were not approved for various platforms. So we just had to get creative, which I think was a blessing in disguise. At the beginning, it was really demotivating when we were like, no matter what we do, these ads are getting taken down. But what it taught us how to do was to market organically, and that has been really like a savior in bringing the business to profitability and stretching our budgets.
And I think the other thing that's really important and an overarching theme of I think everything we've said so far today is participating in community. Our
Hmm.
educational content does so well because we listened when people told us that they liked it and then we made more of it. Our products do so well because we got feedback from what people hated about their experiences and we made them better. And the brand resonates so well because we align ourselves with the people who think in a way that is similar in values to the brand. And so I think like that shows up in so many different ways, but overall participating in community has been so key to us.
Hmm. Yeah, I love both of those things. I think I've always mentioned in terms of marketing how important it is to not only know and be confident in the message you're trying to convey to your audience, but also listen to them. And so I love that you guys have been able to do that. I am curious because obviously we talked about your ads being flagged or restricted or any of those things. I know even platforms like TikTok, like I've had people who are in the sexual health space or even like boudoir photographers or any of those things where it's just run of the mill content. All of those things can sometimes get flagged for like community violations. Have you guys had to deal with that? Have you had to try to like figure out a way around that? What's been your process with that?
Yeah, like all the time. I'd say
Yeah.
probably once a month that happens to us. So last week we had one of our organic posts. We have a sweatshirt that says pee after sex. And a post
Love
of the
that.
photo of that got restricted. And then like it basically shadow banned our profile. So no people who were not following us could see our content. And it sucks because Instagram doesn't notify you when that happens. We had to be like, huh, our engagement is lower. Why is that? Dig in. And then that's happening. We had a screenshot of an Inc. magazine article about the brand get flagged and taken down, I think because it said sexual health in the headline. It's like, extremely frustrating and like often the result of an algorithm. So, we just kind of have to be careful, and we have learned from everyone on TikTok, and we use like at symbols and exclamation points and numbers and words like
Mm-hmm.
abortion, vaginal, and sexual, and that helps. But it is extremely frustrating that we can't just write out abortion. Like I'm so in the
Mm-hmm.
habit of putting the zero as the O in abortion. I like did it in a Google Doc the other day because I'm like, oh, I'm
I'm
gonna get
dead.
blocked.
Oh my gosh. No, I can imagine, or I can only imagine how frustrating that would be because I know a lot of people who definitely had to deal with that. But obviously I'm glad that you guys are finding some workarounds, but I always think it's interesting in terms of paid versus organic, if you guys are experiencing the same things, because I assumed that you were. So um
Yeah.
okay, I want to talk about something really exciting. So tell me a little bit about landing your partnership with Kerry Washington, because that's when I was looking at your guys' notes, I was like, that's actually insane. Like, congratulations, number one. And then number two, like, still tell me everything. That's amazing.
Thank you. We are so thrilled to be working with her. It was definitely like a we've been working on this partnership for like over a year. And I'll just kind of start at the beginning and Cynthia jump in whenever. But we were introduced to Carrie through one of our current investors, and Carrie had seen Winx in this investor's portfolio and wanted to learn more. And that was really crazy to us that she knew that the brand existed, because we are big fans of hers. Like, as you know, we love Scandal and we just like love following her. Um, and we knew that she was really passionate about like getting out the vote and abortion rights and women's health. So once we got connected with her, it was just like really clear from the beginning that we would have a lot of work to do together, and it was a really natural fit. So she officially joined as an advisor, and we rebranded from Stix to Winx Health. That's a story that we can get to later if there's time.
Yeah.
But we relaunched and announced our partnership with Carrie, and she has done incredible work for sex ed. That's like where she's really, really passionate. So we've worked together with her team on a number of pieces of content about sexual education, and have lots of exciting things in the works.
That's amazing.
Also, we've been working with her for a little while, and we are
Yeah.
still starstruck every single time we meet her, see her. We met in prison for the first time a couple months ago, and I was such a dork. I was such a
Oh,
dork. It
I
was
would be too. How
amazing.
do you not?
Yeah.
How do you not?
Yeah, she's so smart. I mean, maybe that's an obvious thing to say for anyone who's heard her speak, but she's such an amazing voice for change that she's been such a great partner for us.
That's awesome. Amazing. I love that. And what do you feel like you're most excited about for the future? I mean, if there's anything else other than what you mentioned, obviously, abortion rights, women's rights, getting out the vote, things like that. Is there anything else that you're really excited about that she's going to really help you like bring to the table?
Um, Something that we're passionate about in general is just access to healthcare. Abortion falls into a version of access to healthcare, but so do so many other things that we do. So
Hmm.
my favorite, I don't know, it's hard to pick favorites. They're all our children, but one of my
Yeah,
favorite things that we're doing right now is our new UTI test and treat product,
I love
which
that.
Jamie mentioned it really briefly in the beginning, but it's basically like a UTI test that comes with this digital component that can get you telehealth to a prescription to treat a UTI. So all from home, you like take a test, you take a picture of it, we tell you what it is, and we get you meds.
Oh,
And I know it's cool. Like I think just to hear about it generally. But we learned recently that half of counties in the US don't have a gynecologist. So it's not just about saving time, which we go from 78 minutes to less than 10. It's not just about saving money, where it's 90% the cost of what it would be to go to urgent care for something like a
hmm.
UTI. It is actually like high stakes implications on women's ability to manage their health. So I get
Yeah.
fired up talking about that one because access to healthcare is so many things, and abortion is such a big part of it, but like so is basic healthcare.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is probably more information than I've shared on this podcast, but like there was a period of time a couple years ago where for a year I would get like one UTI a month and it was grueling and I could not figure out for the life of me what was going on. And I eventually figured it out, thank goodness. But I have this memory of like when you eventually feel the symptoms, when you get them a lot, you're obviously very familiar. You're like, oh, and that's what's happening right now, right? There's no part of you that wants to haul your cookies over to the doctor or urgent care or any of those things. Sometimes you have to wait a whole day to get seen and you're in so much pain. So I think that that is obviously very incredible what you guys are doing and just giving people so much accessibility. So that's really exciting. And I completely agree with you. I think abortion is a big part of it, but also there's such basic elements to it too. So I love everything you guys are doing. I am also curious to know, we talked about Stix versus Winx. And I know we've said we would talk about it in a little bit. I think now is actually a great time to talk about it. So tell me a little bit about that relaunch. Tell me about why the name change, like rebrand, kind of talk me through that.
Yeah. So we launched Stix in 2019 with the pregnancy test, and the name Stix was like a very literal meaning at the time. You're like, pregnancy test is a stick.
Yeah.
That's a cute name. Honestly, didn't think much of it. And as the years went by and our product line expanded from pregnancy tests to this like comprehensive vaginal and reproductive healthcare suite, um, we really wanted a name that was bolder, that really like encompassed everything that we were working on and meant more than like a line on a test. And through the past 5 years, what's really resonated has been our sex education and our community. So we chose the name Winx as like a, a nod or a wink to let women and people know that we're in their corner. We thought that the name just kind of lended itself to having these like bolder, more energized conversations. We didn't want to be quiet about these products anymore. So that is where Winx came from. And we really fell in love with it when we kind of like put it all together. So like Winx Health, I think it's TMI is our slogan. And, it represents our products and our education.
Yeah.
And we launched the new brand this past summer. So it's only like a few months old. Um, and we're very happy that it's out in the world now.
I love that. That's amazing. And I also think, anytime you do a rebrand, you want it to feel, excuse me, like familiar to your audience still, right? You don't want it to feel like such a far cry that they're like, wait, sorry, what is this? And so even just hearing like Stix versus Winx, it still
Yeah.
feels very similar. I feel like a nod to kind of where you were and where you're going. So I love the name change. What do you feel like? And obviously, you mentioned that you guys didn't want to be quiet about the products anymore. You wanted to be more vocal and active in these conversations. Is there anything else that you feel like you kind of embodied with this new rebrand?
I think that, a big value prop of Stix and our earliest like brand was discretion and kind of like privacy with delivering these products. It was all e-commerce delivered directly to you. We really catered to younger women who lived in areas without access to a lot of these products, and we still do. But Winx is a brand that is really, I think, built for anyone who needs it. You know, we really designed the packaging and the products to thrive on retail shelves. So we can still offer that discretion and privacy, but also it's like louder and more built for like people that shop at whatever pharmacy or any drugstore. It's really rooted in education. And like you said, it's not too different from Stix. So if someone has seen the brand once or twice, they might not even notice that it's a new brand. The colors are kind of the same, but brighter, and the language is similar, but like a little bit louder. So yeah, that's one big difference. And while the brand was built for like Gen Z women, something we're learning now is that like with our UTI test and treat, for example, that's a product that women of all ages are using. Like we're even hearing from women in their 40s and 50s that they're buying this product for their mothers who are in like senior care and don't have access, or like when seniors get UTIs, they're extremely dangerous. So that's just a testament, I think, to the new brand.
Yeah, I love that. And that's actually one of the first audiences I thought of when you were mentioning like, oh, it's obviously we're not just working with Gen Z women. And like seniors, that would be incredible for, because I know how dangerous that can be for sure.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay. I want to talk a little bit more about your marketing. So I want to transition back to that. So you guys have talked about obviously that you did not spend any money on paid advertising, any of those things. So I want to kind of talk about like your small team, your smaller marketing budget. Where do you guys feel like you attribute kind of how you came up with your marketing? What do you feel like has like been so successful about that? I know you obviously talked a lot about community, creating these conversations, the education component. Is there anything else that you feel like has been incredibly helpful and like a staple of your organic strategy?
Yeah. I think that focusing on Real Talk, our sex ed site, has driven a ton of people to our e-commerce site. Like there's, you know, I think 20% of people that read Real Talk go on to shop our e-com pages. And we've also like done some paid things that aren't traditional paid media. So we took out billboards near college campuses in red states last year that said emergency contraception is still legal, with a QR code to our EC. And that was really successful, and it was rooted in education, similar to Real Talk. We weren't just saying like, buy this product. Like we were explaining why, like a lot of people thought it was illegal. So we're educating people. And then I think just showing up where people are. We launched on GoPuff and DoorDash, these on-demand platforms, a couple years ago, and they have been huge for us. Like, you know, people, especially on college campuses, are using GoPuff for all of the things in their college houses and dorms. And our emergency contraception and pregnancy tests sell like crazy on that platform. So just by like getting in front of people that need these products is the most important thing. You know, this is often a product that you need right away, or, you know, there's urgency around. So we want it to be everywhere that people are shopping.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like I'm aging myself, but I've literally never heard of GoPuff. I'm like, DoorDash? Yeah, GoPuff? Couldn't tell you, honestly.
But you gotta check it out. We have literally everything. It started as like a late night snack delivery service, but like you can get emergency contraception on it.
Snacks.
I was gonna say the wink. I was like, I getcha. Yeah. Okay, I love that. Good to know. Something for me to check out. You learn something new every day, right? Okay, so in that same vein, since you guys obviously are kind of like masters at this point of your organic strategy, if there was a few pieces of advice that you had to give to a brand or a business that was just starting out and they really wanted to really prioritize their organic strategy and kind of run like a lean and mean business, at least for the first few years, are there pieces of advice that you would give them on the organic side?
I would say like make any content you're putting out really useful. I think it's like 70% of Gen Z consumers really appreciate brands that are like giving them something of value before they purchase. And make sure your channels are working for you. You know, like you don't need to be on every single channel. doing everything all the time. Like find out where your customers and your community is and cater to them and just don't be like rigid in any strategy. Like we change our organic strategy all the time. We're constantly responding. Like we didn't know we were going to get so involved in the election and content around the election. And now it's like a lot of what we're doing on the brand side because we found that it's really resonating and we're able to make a difference. So I would say like definitely create a strategy, but don't stick too closely to it.
Yeah, listen to your audience, right? And see what they're resonating with more and adjust from there. I love that.
Yeah.
Cynthia, do you have any thoughts?
It's so funny. Jamie was talking, and literally what I was thinking is like work with Jamie. Like, I think she
You
hates
can
me for
hire me.
this, but whatever. That like part of the Winx magic is like having Jamie and I are really left brain, right brain as co-founders. My favorite shtick that we do is we say that like anything with like a color or a word is Jamie, and anything with like a number is Cynthia.
I love that.
But Jamie is like very online and very cool and like understands and is like fascinated by and understands, I think, consumer psychology. And I think having somebody on your team, whether it's your co-founder or somebody else who is that way, I mean, honestly, I don't think that that's replicable without it. So
yeah,
that is far too kind, but I will say like I spend a lot of time on the internet. So
yeah, you
spend
do
a lot of time on the internet. Like I've gone through times where I've been like, oh, I have to delete TikTok. It's not good for me. But then I'm like, I literally can't because it's
I literally
for work.
can't. No, same. I'm like, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
feel
gotta
like
know.
Jamie just knows about things like 2 months before I would otherwise know about things. And like that's the kind of online I think you have to be, honestly.
Yeah,
Well,
Jamie is
also,
TikTok, you're Reels.
That is so mean and true.
No, in the best way. I love it.
Yeah.
I'll say
I
like
think,
a Facebook feed post. It's fine.
That was my initial thought. I was like, that's too mean. That's too far.
but also
Oh
like
no.
we brought on a marketer full time who's in her like early mid 20s, and she also is very online, and I feel like having a partner in that is super helpful because like we're just like constantly texting about the news and like cultural events and like how it can relate to the brand and make a difference. So yeah, you have to like kind of like watch what your consumers are watching, live, in online that they are.
Yeah, I love that. Well, just kind of in closing, is there anything else you want to share with our audience before you kind of tell them where to find you and everything? Is there anything else you want to leave them with?
Yeah, I think if you are in a position where you're considering whether or not to speak out about something, it does not have to be abortion rights or politics. That's just like where this conversation has really been centered. I would like really question like your values and your company's values and just live truthfully to them. Like, you might lose customers, but you'll probably attract more of the types of people who hold similar values. So definitely like anything that feels like it could have been like, and Cynthia and I like to joke about our differing AI views. Because I'm like, I hate ChatGPT, and like I feel like I can tell when things are like written by AI, but like there have to be humans behind the brand to really resonate with consumers. So you have to be human and live true to your values.
I love that. Cynthia, anything else? Final words.
I think it's probably echoes what Jamie just said, but like, especially as a founder, so much of our lives are dedicated to building our businesses. And I mean, business, we have Winx, but like, in general, businesses. And I think that I can't imagine waking up every day to work on something that I didn't find so meaningful. So I feel like, I don't know, do what you love, follow your passion, follow your values. And my favorite thing to tell people all the time, no matter who you are, is ask for help. I think everybody has been given chances by somebody else, and I'm always surprised by how much people give to us. So
I love
that's
that.
what I got.
I love it. Okay, well, then tell everybody where they can find you online, what you guys have coming. I want to make sure that they can follow you if they want to.
Yes, you can find us at Winx Health, WINX Health, on Instagram and TikTok. And all of the links to our site and everything are in there. We are launching a really, really cute cotton crew neck that says "Vote with your badge" this week, and proceeds are going to abortion funds. Yes, we have to get you one.
I need one.
Proceeds are going to abortion funds, and I want everyone to wear them to the polls on November 5th. So that's just like a fun way that you can really like speak up and also donate to important organizations who need our money. And our UTI Destined Treat is available on GoPuff, DoorDash, Instacart, our site, Amazon, hopefully lots of retailers in the future. So if you ever have a UTI or any vaginal health problems, come to us.
I love it. And we'll obviously link everything in the show notes so everyone can go and click on all of the handles and everything if they need it super easily. But thank you guys so much for being here. This was such a cool interview. I think obviously it was centered around marketing, but just obviously everything that I'm so excited about too, like, you know, just being a business that's led by values and reproductive health and women's health and empowering women. So thank you guys for being here. This was so cool. And hopefully we can do another chat soon.
Thank you so much for
having
having
us. Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye.